I'm Grigory from Dataplicity, and today I want to show you how to host online application, our API that we created in the previous video. We'll use the Dataplicity application for online hosting. Dataplicity application used for online administration of the Linux servers, but it also has so-called Wormhole feature that allows us to host any port of our Raspberry Pi online. I will show you two ways how to do it. First one will be easy and fast, but not very robust. And second one will be robust, good, proper way to do such stuff, but will be kind of complicated. Which one to choose, you will decide. And now, welcome to my tutorial. Okay, let's one more time open our settings.py file inside of our project. And here let's change the mode to production. So let's set the bug parameter to the false. It will allow our application to be more secure. And after that, let's upload our application to the GitHub. Let's add and commit all our files. Create in your GitHub account new repository. After that, let's connect our local Git repository with GitHub repository online. And finally, let's push our changes online. If we refresh our GitHub page, we can see that our files were uploaded. Now, let's use the Dataplicity platform to get remote access to our Raspberry Pi. Let's go to the dataplicity.com page, and here you need to enter your email address. Blah, blah, blah. And now here appears a line of code we need to paste to our SSH terminal. It will download and install the Dataplicity application to our Raspberry Pi. Let's go to Dataplicity page now. And here we have our device list. We have our single Raspberry Pi here. And by clicking on that, we can open a remote terminal and control our Raspberry Pi remotely. Now, let's go to the home Pi directory. So let's create new virtual environment. Let's name it Django env. Let's activate our environment using source environment name bin activate. And let's clone GitHub repository with our project. Now, let's try to host our server with the first easy way. Let's go to the application folder. Let's install libraries we used before. So Django library, Django REST framework library, and Django course headers library. Now let's check if our application works. Let's run it with run server command. But after that, we need to add the 80 because we want to run it in the port 80. The reason to use port 80 is that the Dataplicity allows us to host applications online through that port through the feature that called Wormhole. After our application running, ensure that Wormhole feature is enabled and click on the link at the right side. That way we can go to the main page of our application. You can see that it is online and it's working. We can also go to the auth register page to check if our registration API is also working. But after we close the terminal session, our Django application also stops working. So what to do to make it working all the time? We need to use tmux library. Let's install it. That library allows us to create sessions of terminal that will be not closing after we close the terminal. So let's create new session with tmux new -s API session. And here, let's run our Django application. So now our session will not close after the closing terminal. We can check it, we can close the Dataplicity platform, and it is still running. Good. The sessions will work all the time until we manually kill them. I've shown you first, easier way, how to host our application online. As I said before, it's definitely not the best way to do it, because Tmux library is definitely not the library for serving the internet services, and also Django's default server is not the best choice for serving application that will use hundreds or thousands of users. It will work for you, maybe for a couple of your friends, but not much. Now let's close our Tmux session to free our AT port. So now let's host our server in the second way, more robust but also kind of complicated, using the nginx and unicorn applications. First of all, let's install the nginx web server, the web server that's suitable for the production web applications. After it's installed successfully, we can go to our Wormhole page and we can see the welcome screen of nginx. Nice. Now, in the file etc nginx sites available default, we need to change the nginx settings. I think it's have no sense to explain all of that lines of that settings file. It is kind of hard to explain, and I think it has no sense in that case. If you're curious, you can read about it more in the, for example, nginx official page. Now just rewrite that lines as I have in my screen. After settings file is created, let's check if everything is okay using the sudo nginx -t command. And if status is successful, let's reload our nginx with sudo nginx -s reload command. Now we can run our Django application one more time, already in normal port 8000, and we can see our application working. Good. Our nginx web server is installed and working, and now we need to install Unicorn. It will be our gateway interface for running our Django application. Of course, Django has own default gateway interface, that's why our application is working now, but it is not the best for big workloads. So let's install Unicorn. Inside of our application folder, inside of the another folder with application name, folder where we have our settings.py file, we have also wsgi.py file, and we need to run that file using our Unicorn application. Let's run it. It running. And now we can see our application working. Now let's do the next things. We'll create a bar script that will run our Unicorn server, and after that we'll create a Linux service that will restart our bar script that activates our Unicorn every time after our Raspberry Pi will restart or will have some error or something. So let's start from the bar script. It's a very simple script that just activates our virtual environment, and after that runs Unicorn server. Also, at the beginning of the script, let's add a string that will tell Linux that this script should be opened with the bash. Okay, after that, let's close it. And also, let's add the executive permissions to our script. Good. Let's try to run it. And we can see one more time our application working.
Last thing we need to do is create a service that will open that script every time our Raspberry Pi will restart. So let's create an etc systemd system service that name unicorn.service. And here let's add the next strings. Let's specify description. Also let's specify the user. Let's specify path to the script we need to run. And let's save our service file. After that, we need to enable our service and start it. With the next command, we can see the service logs. It will be useful for the case if something will go wrong and you will need to debug to find where the problem is. Now application is working. We even can restart our Raspberry Pi. After rebooting, it will still work. Oh, password is to come. Let's add the dot at the end.
And now, when our API finally hosted online, we can connect client to that API and finally complete our application. If you like the video, please leave the thumb up and subscribe the channel. And I will see you in the next one. See you!